Gathering on Dominion TV. I am Folashade Angela Lua, and I have here with me today Apostle Paul and Pastor Femi David. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we are glad to have you here, sir. So today we'll be discussing a crucial aspect of any relationship, which is navigating conflict and forgiveness. We all know that conflict is inevitable, yes, but how we handle it really matters. And so we'll be discussing these things, and I want every one of us to actually stay connected to this because it's going to really bless us. Thank you for joining once again. So thank you for coming, Apostle Paul. We are glad to have you here. And Pastor Dami, thank you for coming. So I'll be asking you a question. And that is, what does forgiveness really mean to you? What does it mean when someone says, I forgive you? What does it really mean to you? Because it feels like in this generation, people did not really understand what forgiveness means. So what does it really mean, sir? Thank you.
To me, I'm taking a cue from the kind of forgiveness that our God exhibits. You know, when He said, you are forgiven, so what He actually said is that that particular past of yours, or that particular thing you did, has been cleaned off a book. So, for example, if I tell someone I forgive you, what I'm trying to say is that whatever you have done to me, I actually clean it off. Now, not what you are or who you are, but what you did, the action itself, I forget or forgo it. I just let it go with the odds, with the consequence, what I'm supposed to do to you or what I'm supposed to repay you off. I just let it go. That's what forgiveness is to me.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. So I want to ask this question, and I will also want Pastor Femi Davis to answer this. What do we do when we are really struggling to forgive others? Because there are times that what people do to us can be so hurting, and you feel like, I don't know how I can deal with this. Like, we struggle to forgive. It's not that we don't believe in God, but then we just find ourselves struggling to forgive others. What do you think that kind of person should do, sir?
You know, forgiveness is actually simple, but to forgive itself takes a lot of journey. In the human world, it's not easy to forgive. You know, that's why I said in the human world. In the human world, it's not easy to forgive. And that's the main reason why people find it hard to forgive is because of fear. Yes, they have the fear that if they let this particular situation go, if they allow this matter to go, there's a possibility, there's a tendency, above 50% that this person is still going to do something like this to me, or this kind of thing is still going to happen to me. So actually, the problem people have with forgiving is not what the person did, but the fear. You understand? The fear that something like that will happen and they might not be able to take the required action, or they might not be able to present this particular thing. So the first thing you must do is, if you can get rid of the fear that your hand is in the hands of human, if you can take control of your emotions, you can, guard yourself and put boundaries, some less boundary around you. At that time, you have taken the power from it. So you now know that you have the capacity to forgive, and if anything is likely to happen, you know what to do at that time. Then fear becomes easy. Then forgiveness becomes easy.
Thank you so much, sir. That's really profound. Thank you so much. So, Pastor Femi David, I want to ask this question. Is there any time you really struggle to forgive anyone?
Before I respond to that, I want to add a few other reasons to what my brother had said about why people may find it difficult to forgive. That fear is a very strong one, and it plagues a lot of people because they feel that people have the tendency to repeat the same things, keep hurting them, keep getting them, pissed. But apart from that, the other reason why forgiveness may be a little bit hard is because of the way the human body or the human life is wired to, seek for vengeance. So vengeance is like they feel like this kind of the tooth for a tooth and eye for an eye kind of stuff, especially when they don't have the capacity to really discipline the person or express their displeasure in a manner that can, inflict or transfer your aggression or your displeasure towards that person, your grievance, that the person will feel, not just know that you are angry, but like to feel disciplined, or I don't know the right word to use. People want where the justice is served. Because when someone does something to you and you feel hurt, it's more like something happened to you unjustly. So you feel like you are cheated, or you have been, watered down, or you have been disrespected, or you have not been valued. So many of these things cause hurt, bitterness, anger, rage, and also sometimes why people don't easily just let go is because, number one, they want a justice system that can let the person have a repercussion of what he has done. Feel it. So not just like I just want to let go and just forget about it. Like the person too must feel the brunt of what I felt, something like that. So that revenge nature is in people. They just want to get their own back at the person. Even if they have a church mind, they don't want to do it directly. But their silence of isolating themselves from speaking to the person, they feel is a way the person can also feel the brunt, the rage of your anger. Like, I just decided to talk to you. I'm not going to say anything. So the person, knows that you are creating a wall. So anytime the person is making an approach, is eating a rock. So somehow that way, they feel a little pacified that this person is getting, is feeling, is having a own taste of his own medicine, something like that. The second one, which is very, very related to it, is this self-opinionated and self-centeredness. It took me a while. I remember back then, I used to be very rageful. I used to be very, very angry. When I see a lot of people that display anger and stuff, I'm thinking about anger management. Sometimes I smile because there was a process God took me to. Apostle, it was a very funny experience. It was an experience that when my father, returned to the country, he was on a missionary journey for a very long period of my formative life. So when he came back, I was far above 10, seeing him for the first time. The first thing I noticed he kept consistently saying was that pastors are not angry people. Many of the times he's saying those things, there's nothing wrong with me. I was not angry. I was not vexing for anybody. I had to take myself to the mirror one day, but I asked myself a few questions. Am I okay? I said, yes. Are you happy? I said, I'm happy. Is there anything all right? Is there anybody ought to? I said, everything's okay. I went to the mirror to check myself. What I saw got me scared. I said, is this me? Like, even at my best countenance, my face was shrinked. I used to be very angry. Very angry, and so he's saying about forgiveness and not forgiveness. If you hurt me that you will collect. So as a pastor, I was so angry. And the height of my anger is that when I start getting very, very furious, if I'm expressive with it and I'm talking angrily, people that know me very well say I'm not yet angry. When I'm very angry and I keep quiet, sometimes I start laughing. People that know me very well know that, no, there's problem. So, but what I noticed that most of the times we are self-centered. We don't have the passion for people. We are not yet very accommodative. We think everything revolves around us. So it's difficult to forgive people when you feel that maybe they've hurt you, or they feel that you are very, very special. They've brought you down. And of course, yes, we are special. I'm not saying you should not have self-value or self-worth. Yes, but we get to the point where we feel like it's about me, myself, and I. So anything that tampers with that sequence, we are quick to rage. And the reason why we may not easily forgive is that we want to keep that person in the space so that it does not come and distort that argument of I am the Lord of all, I'm the best in my space and all. So this self-centeredness and the rageful effect of revenge is one of the additional reasons, apart from the fear of people keep repeating it, why people find it difficult to forgive and let go. So, but for me, have I gotten to the point where I struggle to forgive people? The truth is that after that story I just said about myself, that time I really didn't have issues with forgiveness or not. It was just like, if you get me angry, I will eat you back. Of course, not physically, but like you will know. And if I now start laughing sometimes, it was that funny because at that small part of my life, when I was still young, I didn't have any guidance, no control, no counseling. So I could be getting angry, and the person will know that the reason why the person felt sick is because I was angry. Like people knew, like the reason why something happened. Like someone can steal something in the school. The whole school will come and meet me and say someone stole something. I say where? I say no problem. If I just get I'm angry that they stole like this, the person will just develop boil. All his body, something will just happen. It already, my brother, I don't understand.
So anger was stirring up spiritual vengeance.
I don't know if spiritual vengeance or demonic manipulation. I don't know because it's so funny. Like the person will literally something. Maybe if I say we will know by the eyes. If I don't tell them, we will know by the eyes. So the person may come with a swollen eyes, red eyes. This person has to. It's so easy to know. So that I'm angry like this, they know there's going to be a problem. So, so that time, I didn't really have issues with it. It's not a matter of forgiveness or not forgiveness. It's like, if you do anything, you will collect. So there's no, forgiveness is like, you hurt me. So like, you don't hurt me. Like, you touch fire, you will be burnt. That's how it was. But when God took me through a process, 3 solid years after that I saw myself in the mirror, there's a scripture that talks about seeing yourself in the way you really are. I saw myself in the mirror, I'm like, okay, no, this does not fit me. This is not supposed to be who I am. And Daddy has been saying it. So after it took a cue, and I started joining into God. It took me 3 solid years. In short, it was from my 100 level to my 300 level that I was, anything I read in the Bible, anybody preaching is always talking about love. So from that time, I really didn't have someone that did something that hurt me around that initial time. But after that period, when people hurt me, I noticed that I'm a little bit fat. My heart is enlarged. So I just feel unhappy. But like, if you ask me tomorrow, sincerely, if I make reference to it, it's because I'm trying to say a story or something. The things don't stay again. So what I'm trying to say is that till now, people really get me. There are a few people that maybe I say don't do this, don't say something, and they say it, and I find out. Immediately I tell them I didn't like what you did though. It does not stay anymore. And that was because God had done the work on me. I told you how many years? 3 solid years. It was not a funny experience. So it's not natural. For me, I'm saying it was not natural for me not to be able to keep what people do, but I just found myself helplessly not able to keep resentment and anger, and I'm struggling to forgive. No, I will tell you immediately, and that's really all. Yeah, so that's how this
Thank you so much, sir.
But now you're no longer using your anger to detect the people that are doing something.
Funny enough, I received a call from one of our old students, the judo, after like maybe 10 to 11 years I left school. He called me and say, he's with his girlfriend's room. That they say someone stole something. And I said, so he wants to call me. I just be like, in my mind, I'm like, 11 years ago, you never called me to ask how I am. You just remember there's one hunter, one thief hunter. You just called me out of the place to be asking me someone stole something. Who's better stole something? I don't know what we find it. That's all. We just find it. That's all, So I think that 3 years process it did a lot of spiritual damage and control reconfiguration for me. So not really. It's just that a few people that are very close to me, when they start noticing some things, they come and ask me, is everything fine? They know. Because sometimes if I'm not happy, to expect those that God had given to me as children in the Lord, like people that I'm responsible for. For example, I say don't do this and they do it. I feel it, I perceive it, and something can just happen around that time, and they will know. They will know. So it's not like I intentionally. That time I am intentional about it. I know what to. I will even allocate. I will appropriate what must happen. I say it's leg pain. This is leg pain. But I don't do that again. But I see that some of the times I had a little one of mine that did something I did not like, and I said, okay, I'm not happy what you did though, and that was all. The person just went immediately. The person just felt like that. He said, Papa, I said I'm sorry. I said, I've told you that if you do something wrong, you see the consequence. I'm sorry. I said no problem. And I said, it's a lie. I just slid. It's not what you did. I said no problem. Since now I did not do anything, no. But if you say it's not it, I said we will keep that one. This one is coincidence. Then when the other one comes, maybe you are expecting the one I do. I'll be, hey, I don't want to know. So I think it's so funny.
Okay, sir. So regarding what you said earlier, that some people just get angry and they will be very furious, and they will say, once you offend me, then God will fight you automatically, and they will watch those people fall just because they were offended. We will call that spiritual gift.
I know. Apostle will answer that question.